Black people, words on the street, the fire in your eyes out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you that I don't know how. Because baby, you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonder. Today was gonna be the day, but I'll never throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you had to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads that lead you there are winding, and all the lights that light the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. I said, maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my walking along. I said, maybe it's gotta be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my walking along. I said, maybe you gotta be the one that saves me. You gotta be the one that saves me. You gotta be the one that saves me.
No.
A wise man once said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. This is Walk to Wellness, Alton David, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
All right, good evening. Welcome. My name is Elton. Walk to Wellness brought to you by All My Sports SA live from our studios in Cape Town. And as you can see, if you're following us on the live stream, on my Facebook, on my YouTube, on my Insta, I'm joined in studio by Natasha Wahid, and we'll get a little bit about her in a minute. But that was Wonderwall by Oasis. I thought I'd play something old, Natasha. You were jolling there.
It's an old school banger, man. It was amazing.
Absolutely. How are you?
Good. It's a shorter time since we've been here than last time,
True story.
so really happy to be back.
Welcome back. It's been
Thank you.
it's been a short while that you've been away, and we're back. We're back to come and have a conversation around various topics. If you've just tuned in, tonight is no different to any other night where we have conversation with Natasha from a legal perspective, and we unpack various elements. And you're welcome to join the conversation in our in-studio WhatsApp line on +27 0692459543, or send me a message on my Insta, YouTube, or Facebook, and join the conversation tonight. Natasha is going to be interesting because we're going to have a conversation around mental health, mental toughness, and how all of these things affect abuse, domestic violence, harassment, and how you, from a legal perspective and from a legal fraternity, can help shape us and help us give us some perspective. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, for those who are new, tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you so much. So I'm an admitted attorney. So I'm a lawyer in colloquial terms. I work at a law firm called E&S, and I am the pro bono manager. So I get to do good every day, all day, as part of my job. And part of that, I believe, we had a conversation about sharing, and this is, I think, very important, particularly this topic. And it would be great to be able to share it and put it into a legal context.
So why would you want to do something pro bono? Let's look, it's not pro bono for you because you
So
get
I
paid
get
a salary.
paid, yes. Well,
Why would your company do something pro bono? Let me ask that question.
because we believe that it's our duty as a good corporate entity. It's also enshrined in our Bill of Rights in terms of, it's not mandatory, but in terms of giving back. Because
Bill of Rights of who? Of your company?
No, Bill of Rights of the Constitution. Try to catch me there. And in terms of the preamble of the Constitution, we the people, we are all the people, and we all have a duty to play. And it goes back to the notion of Ubuntu, that we are because of others.
100%.
And I think that's a central tenet of the firm that I work at and me as a human. So it's a natural fit.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So what do you guys do as a pro bono? What kind of legal stuff do you do? Because people have no idea. They just see the term, but they don't fully understand what it's about. Give us a helicopter view.
So pro bono, I'm not going to bore you with the Latin term, but it means essentially free legal assistance. And it can be a host of topics or areas of law. It's not just criminal, but you might come into contact in there, but it can be corporate, it can be family law, it can be a whole host. But the essential tenet is that we would assist for free. But we've taken the program and expanded it and essentially made it multi-pronged. So we'll also have legal education, because we firmly believe that there needs to be preemptive action so that you don't land up, if you can help it, being in conflict with the law, or that you can protect your rights. And knowledge is power. Then we also do enterprise development, and it's very important for us, for those of you in South Africa, but for those of you with roots in South Africa, you also know that our unemployment rate is incredibly high. We're the most unequal society in the world, which is a grave indictment. And we believe that one way that we can solve it, or not solve it, or play a role rather, is to promote entrepreneurship. But we would provide the legal assistance for setting up businesses, the knowledge of various aspects that are sometimes quite daunting for an entrepreneur. I think you know it as an entrepreneur yourself. And then we work with vulnerable groups, and we do a lot of youth empowerment and so forth and so. We have, what makes us quite cool, I think, is that we have 2 fully fledged pro bono offices. One in Mitchell's Plain and one in Gauteng in Alexandra. So it's fully funded by the firm. And then we have offerings. So
offering.
So we don't. It's not quite daunting
Yes,
there.
that's
No, we're not going to
offering.
be offering. But I differentiate it by saying we don't have a fully-fledged pro bono office, but we will assist with matters or programs as part of the bigger pro bono
Okay.
program. Yeah.
Okay. So now that we understand where you fit into the big picture
Mm.
and the ethos of you and the organization that you're part of, let's have a conversation around firstly mental health.
Mm.
Okay. So mental health is my personal well-being, my personal space, my personal environment, and what makes me tick
Yeah.
in a broad context.
Yes.
It's like someone said to me today, "What do you do when you're down?
Mm.
Where do you go?" To think about it.
Yeah.
Uh, for me, I'm never in that space. I'm one of the few people because it's a conscious decision I've made to
Okay.
never be in a bad space
But then maybe what happens? I think it's the same question. What happens if you can't be happy all the time?
all the time, baby.
Well, then you're an anomaly of note.
I am in the sense that I choose
Okay.
happiness and I look for the positive in a negative situation. Period. No matter what's coming my
In
way,
death.
even there, there's a positivity, and I do, and exactly that point. Yesterday, I thought it was my grandmother's birthday,
Yeah.
who was my best friend, and she has passed.
Yes.
And for me, in death, as sad as it was, which was one of the most profound days or weeks of my life, where I cried the most, I was heartbroken the most. I walked away knowing that life carries on. And the positive part of that was, I am because you made me,
Mm.
rather than I've lost my best friend. Yes, I did, but I didn't lose the teaching she's given me. So it's a perspective. It's like someone saying to you, you respond to how you are received,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So I'm receiving the negativity with positivity. I'm overwhelming bad things with love.
Okay. Neutralizing
I'm absolutely neutralizing it to the point that I'm over exceeding.
the positivity.
Correct. But it's a learned skill. Not everybody can do it.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a very evolved way of looking at it. And I think the average person, myself included, has not reached that state or not made that conscious decision. And I think that's where mental health and positive coping mechanisms, as opposed to you, comes into being.
Yeah. So mental health in the general sense is about educating people around various elements: depression, anxiety, abuse, physical, mental, spiritual, financial,
Yeah.
and how you cope with those kinds of mechanisms. So let's take a step back. Let's try and unpack this to understand what abuse is firstly, in the most basic understanding.
Yeah.
What would you say it is?
Abuse would be violating a boundary or
Right?
doing something that doesn't sit well with you and not taking into that other person or even yourself, if you self-harm,
Mm.
not taking into account your best interest.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's also as a result of what other people inflict on you. And I use
Yes.
that term specifically inflict.
Intentional.
It's intentional to do
Yeah.
something. Whether it is a physical abuse,
Yeah.
where someone hurts you physically, it's an emotional abuse where they verbally
Yeah.
abuse you. It could be a financial abuse where they withhold money from
Yeah. Well, emotional and verbal, so we can differentiate that. Yeah. Yeah.
you. It could be a sexual abuse where
Yeah.
someone physically harms you through a sexual act of sorts.
Mm.
What other abuse is there?
Economic, we said.
Yeah.
We said economic, we said verbal, we said emotional. There's also that spiritual, like using it's a broader definition with the updates. But I think we essentially covered it. Have we? We haven't
No,
left
no,
anything out yet.
in a broad
In
sense.
broad sense, yeah.
So often people use mental health as a crutch, in a way.
Okay, that's a very controversial statement.
100%.
So you need to
So-
unpack that.
So they use it as a crutch in the sense that someone will say, I've been rightly or wrongly diagnosed with anxiety or depression,
Okay, or both.
or both,
or I'm schizophrenic, or whatever the case may be, and they use that for a justification for the action.
Okay.
Hence the crush. Hence they come to in a legal
So
space.
that's the defense.
100%.
So
Hence I'm saying that
insanity based.
in a legal space, how do you engage that kind of conversation?
It's very difficult because you're not what we deem to be the encompass mentis. We're
Yes.
not able to appreciate right from wrong.
Yep.
And therefore, if you're not able to appreciate right from wrong, how can you be held accountable? But that means that if it, say the nth degree is you killed someone or you did whatever,
Yep.
like the final thing, you would then be found guilty by reasons of mental insanity or so forth, and then be placed in a secure facility to get mental assistance.
To be evaluated firstly.
And then obviously, but to bring that sort of defense, you would have had to have expert witnesses testify.
Absolutely.
So you would have gone through quite a rigorous process to be diagnosed. But at the same time, I can see you looking at me and say you're a wealthy dude or dudette, yeah. You could hypothetically get certain people to say certain things. However, that would be their ethics. But if you present it to the court, particularly it would be by an expert affidavit, you're swearing. And if you're going to commit perjury, that is on you. And it also would be under scrutiny by the state if it's a criminal matter. But yeah, so then you wouldn't be getting off scot-free, so to speak, because you would still be put in a secure facility, and it would be a mental health facility. So essentially a prison, but
A different kind. I come to a prison because I come to it's relatively comfortable.
Well,
If you go to Colco, it's relatively
I've
comfortable.
never been, and so I can't talk.
I can tell you, it's relatively
I do
comfortable.
want to go.
It's relatively comfortable.
Not as a patient, but I want to go there. Let me just put that out there.
It's relatively comfortable compared to Colco.
Oh, okay.
From that perspective,
Okay.
it's like being in a dorm.
But at the same time, let's, all things being equal, say that the law ran its course and you're genuinely mentally incapacitated and you can't stand whatever, you can't go and appreciate the wrongness of your actions.
Yep.
But if you're using it, and I don't know how it would undergo scrutiny in a legal sense because of all those checks and balances. But for example, in an everyday sense, I think it plays out a lot. Even using the example of I'm so stressed, it's racking up my anxiety. I was going to have water, but no.
Take a break in a minute.
Yeah. And therefore I acted out, or I swore at you, and so forth. And I think that's where, if particularly, like once off attack can also be detrimental, right? But particularly if you're looking at verbal and emotional, that constant picking away at it leads people then to feel, or rightfully so, that their mental health is negatively affected, which leads them to look for recourses. And that's why I always advocate, I can yap about this topic, I always advocate a psychosocial approach together with legal, right? So, and what I mean by that is that, yes, there needs to be lawyers that do the harassment and domestic violence, but it can't be in isolation to therapists and getting mental health support, because you need to do it holistically. And 100%. I think that's very important.
So I would equate that to a sporting coach perspective.
Okay? Yeah.
So because I'm in the sporting space, when I coach somebody, I coach the whole person.
Yes.
I don't just want to know the person that's arrived on my doorstep for coaching. I want to know what you ate today. I want to know what your relationship with your girlfriend, wife, mother, brother, cousin, whatever it is today, because that affects how you're going to respond to me today.
Yes.
So is that the kind of what you're alluding to?
I'm alluding to that. So you look at the person holistically, and you then assist them in different ways. So I always say yes, you must be empathetic, but lawyers are not your psychologists. You need to be not sympathetic, empathetic. But you also need to keep a clear head. You need to do X, Y, and Z and do what you've been trained to do, and therefore outsource the other parts to people that are experts in it. So getting a protection order, I advocate, is great, but without that other support, how effective will it be holistically? That being said, I'm very aware of resources and costs for those types of stuff, but I've seen an organization in Gauteng, just one that works in that manner, that actually their name has a in it, or against abuse, rather, and it's been phenomenal. They started off with volunteer lawyers and they moved from there. And I think that's how one has to look at it. If we also look at TCCs or Tutuzela care centers, which are located in various areas, and for those of you that don't know, they are multidisciplinary. If you've been either of sexual abuse or sexual offences, whenever you go there, you'll be able to see a doctor, you'll be able to see a psychologist, and it's all in one space. I think that's very important, and people are particularly trained within the ambit of abuse because it then guards against secondary victimization.
Yes.
And I know we touched on that previously, but you also have to remember that somebody has to retell their story and how they interpret it and how you interact with them, and emotions are fragile and affect that as well. So it's important, and it's a niche space.
100%. We're going to take a short break. We're going to play a song that I may not remember.
Now I'm intrigued.
When I can get it to work.
The time has come to say fast back, to pay the rent, to pay our share. The time has come. Our times are done. It belongs to them. Let's get it back. I knew it was when I heard this coming. How do we see what a mess I'm running? How do we get when I heard this coming? How do we see what a mess I'm running? Time has come to say yes, time has come to say fast back, to pay the rent, to pay our share.
But you are exercising, you can never do it again. And I was excited, but I was like, I got tasted like a month ago, and it's like, it's the point. We just do that
With tailored solutions, easy, and reliable, without regular booking fees and downtime via the service is affordable, even better than normal and They are also full transport partner for Afrikaap Radio. Contact monitors either by telephone or WhatsApp on 071 314 9133. Tailored shuttle solutions for tailor-made transport services. Working Mama magazine is about supporting moms who juggle work, business, and raising kids. Our goal is to empower these moms, whether they have a job or running their own business. We want to create a community where moms can find inspiration, practical advice, and support to succeed at work, business, and home. We celebrate the strength of working moms, encourage connections, and believe in a culture that values the many roles women play in today's busy world. 24 hours of non-stop answers.
Broadcasting live worldwide.
This is Afrikaap Radio, playing the music 24/7 on your dial. A wise man once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is Walk to Wellness with Alton David, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
All right, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Walk to Wellness, brought to you by All My Sports. My name is Alton Davids. I'm the host of the show, joined in studio by Natasha Wachit, the pro bono manager of ENS. You know that song by Midnight Oil?
Yeah.
Beds Are Burning.
Yes, I know that. Yeah.
Just checking.
He's like, I am not that bad. I do know some.
I didn't say you bad. I'm really asking for clarity. So if you just tuned in, we are having conversations around mental wellness and the legal system. We started unpacking some elements, and to form there are a few questions. You're welcome to drop them on our in-studio WhatsApp line on +27069 245 954543, sorry, or on my Facebook, on my Insta, where we will give you some pro bono advice where we can. So, Natasha, the first pro bono question is, how do people access any pro bono services that you offer?
So our office is situated at 1 Narboom Street, Eastridge. And that besides that, they're more than welcome to contact our firm or go onto our website, which is www.ensafrica.com. I will check it and make doubly sure. And then there's our Instagram handle as well. If you type in ENS, you'll get it as well. Original Thinking. Or it's quite cool, actually. I know, don't judge. But that being said, is ENS pro bono or other pro bono works via a means test, right?
Which is would be my next question.
Yeah, so it will look at income, if any, assets, if any, nature of matter, and like all firms will do is a conflict check just to make sure we can act in a particular matter.
Mhm.
Say, for example, I can tell you off the bat, we don't, at ENS, we don't assist with criminal matters, but we will do harassment, area maintenance, domestic violence. And then, but even if we aren't able to assist you with your matter, we will provide you with guidance and advice in terms of like next steps and so forth on how you can take the matter forward. And yeah, so I would suggest that you if you just go and on your browser and type in ENS Africa or ENS, it's now been shortened, you should get us, and then we will be able to. You can give us a call, send us an email. I can give you my email address as well. Am I able to do that on the air?
You do that? You open yourself to 1,000 emails, but that's okay.
It's fine if we can help. So it's N and then my surname, which so N for Nelly, and then WAGIET for Thomas at ensafrica.com. And you, Alton, I think, can maybe type some stuff if that works. I don't know if that you can put it in the chat.
I'll put it on our WhatsApp group.
And then you can pop me an email and I will have a read through it. I do read all my emails.
Sorry, in Wahid at ENS?
Africa, one word.
.com.
Yeah. And see if myself or the team can assist you. So that's kind of how you can access it. So I know that sometimes people think that the means test can be exclusionary, but unfortunately there's limited resources, and that's kind of how it's looked at. It's not a perfect system by any means, but it's kind of the best that you're able to gauge. And the caveat is that at least at our firm, we will engage with you and not just say like bye-bye. We will refer you and so forth. Yeah.
I used a similar system when I worked in the cycling space, and we needed to apportion support to cycling riders.
Okay.
In the same process.
Yeah.
So we understand at what level of income is within your household to be able to assist.
Yes.
Because you can't. You only have so much resources. You can't.
Yes.
You've got to do justice to what you have.
Yeah. So we could take 1,000,001 matters, but if we're not doing them properly, what is the use?
100%.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we do and how we do pro bono and what you need to look out for. And when you do approach an organization, be it ENS or another organization, have a summarized version of what your matter is about or what you deem to be the most important facts, just so that someone can read it and obviously your email address will be there, but include maybe if you have a cell number or so forth, just to make it easy for the organization to contact you. So don't be scared of a unknown number, because I've heard people say they don't answer because they're like debt collectors. But if you know you've sought legal assistance, answer your phone.
And give you as much detail as you can.
Yes.
So the person receiving it can make an informed decision on how to direct it as a post office, in inverted commas.
Yeah.
To where to post it to.
Way to post it
To the right.
on the spot, say, I think this. But know that a proper consultation is necessary for your matter. So the analogy is like if you go to the doctor, they need to examine you and your matter, so it's contextual. So just remember that.
Okay. So now we understand how people can access your pro bono services. Here's another question which would require a pro bono answer from you.
Okay.
How can educators protect themselves from abuse from learners?
You see, that's a very
Let me finish the thing. The WCD protects the child, but not necessarily the educator. For example, the learner hits the teacher with a chair. Wow. The teacher's reaction is reflective and hits the child. The department charges the teacher with physical abuse by protecting the learner.
Okay, so it's multifaceted, and the answer is nuanced. So that sounds like legal lawyers being lawyers, but that's my caveat.
Yeah.
So you need to look at it. Obviously, there's a right and a wrong and whatever, and there's gray in between. So the learner is deemed to be under 18, for example.
Would be a minor.
So they're a minor, and they are then treated in terms of the Child Justice Act, which has rehabilitation, restoration, etc., etc. There's also various other pieces of legislation that deals with how you're going to deal with that learner. The educator, by the same token, is not a minor, and so that kind of act doesn't apply to them. But that being said, in the example, it's said to be kind of like reflective. I'm protecting myself, and therefore that's where the nuances of the case comes in.
It shouldn't be reflective. It should be retaliative.
Yeah, it's like I'm kind of like stopping you, and that's just how I'm going to save myself. So whether there's a charge or not, right? A charge is a charge, but you have a right to defend that charge, and you have a right to be represented, I think, by your union or legal representative or whatever. And they need to prove that charge, and you have a right to rebut it. So they will look at, I'm assuming, well, the legal department will look at the facts of that particular matter and say this is a charge. I know that it may seem unfair because you were charged with it and you weren't the victim. You were the victim. But just know that that's in the background, and it being a minor for right or for wrong. By the same token, as your representative or as whoever in this case will also have a right to interrogate the actions of that learner. The danger comes in is when you're persecuted already before there's a verdict or there's an outcome, right? And you might be deemed to be guilty just because of the outcry, media outcry, etc. That's where defamation and all of that can come into it. But I get what you mean in terms of it seeming to be unfair. But so long as, even if you're charged with X, Y, and Z, you ensure your legal representative or your union rep or whatever ensures that there's due process.
So here's the next part of this.
Yeah.
Am I, as the in any way potentially able to sue the parents? Because when often parents use the child's mental state as an excuse for the disruptive behavior. But would it not then be a reflection of the parents' parenting style, which opens a whole new can of worms?
That's a whole new can of worms, because essentially you're being charged with assault, and corporal punishment is banned. You can't hit your kids at home either.
100%.
Yeah. That's also illegal.
Which is part of the reason why society is the way it is, but I'm just throwing that stone into the water and what's a ripple effect.
And that's my perspective. Yeah, that's his favorite. It's not representative in brand.
My personal perspective.
Yeah, so you see, it's a tough one, because are you then saying that that child is just made up of the parents and not influenced by other factors? And how are you going to prove? And
But I'm the legal guardian of the child. I should take responsibility.
The child is in the care of the school during that time.
But I'm still the legal guardian.
Yeah,
I can argue that Mila is your child.
Yes.
It's your responsibility to train her up in the way to be
to raise her, not train her up, please.
To raise her.
He's a coach. That's where we're going with
it. Exactly. What did you say? What?
To raise
her.
Oh, sorry. In a fit and proper manner. But it's going to be very, like, I would say try it, but I don't know how you're going to.
From a legal perspective, is there any merit in following that train? I'm just being facetious. But is there any merit in that space to say, I am going to come after you as Mila's mother because Mila...
Kind of like saying vicarious liability. 100%. That's what you're kind of getting at, right? So vicarious liability is if you do something in the course and scope of your employment and something happens, you can then sue the employer or the company. So that's vicarious liability.
So as a simple example, if you trip and fall at work, you can't blame the boss because you trip and fall, even though there's a portion wet floor sign. Essentially, is a different kind of analogy to illustrate the point.
No. It's a difficult one, Alvin. I say try. I would say try. I would even look at it a bit differently. And we're speaking like in now, let's use our imaginations. You could even say that the parents neglected their duty of care
Yes.
by not putting in place certain portals that were needed to ensure that the best interest of the child was foregrounded.
Mm.
And therefore you are then suing them hypothetically for that derogation of duty also. Because it's like a roundabout way of saying you also did wrong to the child because the child's a minor and you didn't act in the best interest by not fulfilling your role as a parent.
100%.
But then it's going, you're going to have to unpack what the role of a parent is in various circumstances.
But it's a perspective. It's a
Yes.
subject perspective.
Exactly, and that's why I'm cautious, and that's why I don't want to say, I never say flat out no, because I'm like, test the law. But it's not going to be a slam dunk.
100%.
Yeah.
So in a case like this, okay?
Yeah.
Let's use this as a case.
Okay.
I as the teacher, can I get free legal advice? Either from your company or legal aid. Or what is this other thing Desmond do that comes on TV?
Legal-wise.
Yeah.
But you need to subscribe to Legal-wise, I think.
First
think you need to
it's a 250 rand membership
I didn't know that.
for every month.
And then they also have certain caveats. I speak under correction, and they won't help you with certain matters.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. But let's say I access to a lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can then. So they would do.
What would be the process?
So you would.
Let's take us through that process.
They would ask what your salary is.
Yeah.
They would look at if you own any property, immovable property, and look at rates and taxes.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a bit varied because property prices are insane in
100%.
the Western Cape. They would then look at the nature of the matter and see if you can actually have the expertise to be able to assist in this. And then the last one would be there would be a conflict check whereby you run it against potential counterparties and see if we are really acting or that counterparty is a client, for example.
So an example, parent, his client, and the teacher. In essence.
They look at them, then it's a different thing. Then for us, for example, we would look at active matters. We would approach the people that are already assisting that parent. It can also go through what we call a conflict committee where they debate it.
Yes.
And then there's an answer to that.
Okay.
But say, for example, it's a no. We would then obviously let you know either way and say, we suggest you contact this, and this, and this to see if they can assist you. Do you know what I mean? So we make contact with everyone. And if it's a yes, you would consult, come on record, take the matter on. This matter particularly will probably go quite high up, I'm assuming, because there'll be lots of constitutional issues. Obviously, it will go through the process, probably stay to the High Court. I doubt it will go to the Magistrates Court, but we'll see. For those of you that were here earlier or on other previous, you know the court system. So we did that already as a topic.
If you just did it,
I feel like it's that
we're having a conversation from a legal perspective.
Yeah.
In terms of mental health and elements around mental health and how the legal system either enhances, supports, or will push your matter into a different space.
Yeah. And then also, I like that different space, right? So the matter of blah, blah, blah matter. Some matters can also go through alternative dispute resolution. So mediation, for example. And mediation is quite a cool tool because the mediator who's properly trained, must be impartial, etc., controls the process, but the parties control the outcome.
100%.
And it's a wonderful tool because sometimes, not in all instances, but in some instances, particularly in the family kind of setting, it can yield great results. So there's also that they would. Some matters now, I think in another jurisdiction, they say, or jurisdiction is an area of the court, they say that you first need to try mediation because obviously the court roles are really long, you wait long for justice, blah, blah, blah. So there's that way of also dealing with it.
But who determines at what point mediation happens? Because to your point now, you're saying there are some where mediation is the preferred medium, first port of call.
Mm.
It's like if you don't have medical aid, you first go to a day hospital, then you get referred to a secondary hospital, and then you go to first care.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Trap of vergelijking. Remember that from high school?
It's such a first language of course.
Daar sy sister. Ons moet dieselfde bladsy.
So, I get you, but
Who makes that decision?
it
It's the
might be the
prosecutor.
it might be the prosecutor in terms of it's a criminal matter or so forth. You might come before a presiding officer and they might say, or particularly if it's a commercial matter, the opposing teams or the opposing sides, whatever, might say, let's try mediation and let's see how far it gets. So it's a mixed bag in terms of how it is done.
You're welcome to drop your questions in our in-studio WhatsApp line +27 0692 459543 or on my personal Facebook, my personal YouTube, my personal Insta, and join the conversation. Give us one or two thoughts, give us one or two challenges like our previous two listeners have done, and we will try and give some pro bono advice. It may not be the best advice that you want to hear. It may not be all 100%, but we are giving it from our perspective at this point.
Yeah, and it's generalized because we don't know your whole story.
100%.
Yeah.
So let's unpack again from a mental health perspective. There's the Mental Health Care Act, which was in 2002, which speaks about the primary legislation which came into effect on how we deal with mental health issues in general.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So one of it is the right to non-discrimination, right? Which essentially is how we should not discriminate against someone or we can't unfairly discriminate against someone who has been diagnosed. In the legal system, there are certain caveats around treatment around those, and in terms of case law, that leads us to believe that certain situations result in, as we discussed, if you declare insanity, etc.
As a defense.
As a defense, right? It also gives us the right to quality care. So, in a legal space, in a correctional service, or in a holding cell, let's put it that way. If someone declares that they are mentally unfit, do they automatically get removed?
No, they need to be checked out. So I'm speaking under correction, but you need to I don't want to say prove, but you need to then flag it. And that is why it's very important that everybody has the right to a legal representative, right? And you need to exercise that right.
100%.
And if you can afford it, it's through legal aid, you say. And the best way to get heard would be to tell your legal representative, listen. Similarly to the fact that if you have a chronic illness, physical illness, you'll say, I need my meds. So similarly, sometimes, or lots of times, if you have mental challenges, you will be on medication as well. And then your legal representative will then need to take that up and see that you get the proper, that portal is, obviously you can raise it yourself, but the chance of you in a waiting trial cell being heard, as opposed to you having an advocate being your legal representative would be the best course.
So in a case like that, if I'm a diabetic, I tell my lawyer goes and brings it to the magistrate. Whoever. Right? How does that, do you know how that communication comes back to DCS?
I think remember there's a hospital section in the prisons and there's doctors and so forth. So I speak like this.
I'm not putting on the question. My brain is just now
gone. Yes.
Gone there.
We love you for that. So what would happen is probably it will be noted and taken into account, and then a note would probably get to the sick bay or the infirmary. And then you'd be taken care of that way. So similarly, there should be psychiatrists or at least counselors or psychologists. Well, psychiatrists do administer meds and so forth, or even sometimes GPs, I suppose. I don't know how that works.
For anxiety,
but the more hectic ones, it would need a psychiatrist.
Very basic anxiety medication can be prescribed by a GP. 100%. Okay, so the next part is, how does the law protect a mentally unstable person? So Use an example.
Yeah.
I'm a Down syndrome person.
Mm.
Can the law protect me in any particular way, other than if something if there's an infringement towards me?
So the law can protect you, like in terms of that act that you mentioned. You're not allowed to be discriminated on based on your challenge or on your. I want to use a. I don't want to use disability. You're supposed to be given equal opportunities in terms of jobs and so forth.
Mhm.
Within what obviously if you're not paying for that, you can't get the job. You're
100%.
skilled, and people aren't allowed to abuse you purely based on the fact that you have Down syndrome in this, because that would be discrimination. So the law completely protects you because you have the right to equality, and you have the right not to be discriminated based on the fact that you have a disability.
You know that I like to unpack it with you.
Wait for yes.
My brain's as usual.
Can you tell me?
A constitution. Because you every
I love the Constitution.
every time you make reference to the constitution. It's almost like you know it like the
I don't know it like the back of my hand, but I'm very proud of it. But at the same time, there's that horrible but amazing saying is that we can't eat rights. So my bugbear is that are we putting those beautiful rights into reality so that people can actually access it? And I think that's a topic that we need to unpack, particularly with election season coming up. It might become quite raucous, but I think it's quite cool.
Yeah, I think that's a secondary topic.
I'm trying to make it controversial, yeah.
No, I want us to unpack and understand the constitution in its entirety.
But that would need to be a series. Just
100%. So the different chapters, because we're not going to delve into word and
no, but a holistic overview. I think it's important because
most people have never read the constitution or even understand it.
I was horrified that most people have not seen the constitution.
I've got a small little bookie one.
Yes, it was handed out. Hey, that's super cool. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Sorry, we're just planning on next show.
So if you guys like that idea, let Elton know.
Okay, I'm going to take a short break and play another old classic because today is about old classics for me. Let's see if anybody knows this song when this system does kick in. This song. Dash, you may or may not know this song. This is a song by a guy called Christopher Cross. You heard of him? Shame. Shame.
Know the song. I just don't know the people. Screams 18. Screams 18.
Just you wait and see. It's not hard to get that back. Reason to live in this life to find joy. The innocence again. Oh, the innocence again. Just you wait and see. Feeling takes me away.
I actually think this is my flute. What is that? Yeah.
With Taylor Shuttle solutions, easy, efficient, and reliable transport without the hassle of wait fees and downtime via an their service is affordable and even better economic and right. They are also health transport for Afrikaap Radio. Contact Shani Peterson either by telephone or WhatsApp at 071 9111. Tailored Shuttle Solutions for tailor-made transport services.
Working Mama magazine is about supporting moms who juggle work, business, and raising kids. Our goal is to empower these moms, whether they have a job or running their own business. We want to create a community where moms can find inspiration, practical advice, and support to succeed at work, business, and home. We celebrate the strength of working moms, encourage connections, and believe in a culture that values the many roles women play in today's busy world.
The Western Cape Blood Services needs blood donors, and we need your help. If you are between the ages of 16 and 75, weigh 50 kilograms or more, you are healthier on their connection and lead a safe sexual lifestyle. We encourage you to download the WCBS app and donate blood. Download the WCBS app on Android and iOS. It will help you find the closest blood donation clinic, set reminders for donating, and also gives you access to your digital donor card. Download, donate, do good.
Op zoek naar rustige ontsnapping aan de prachtige tuinritte. Welkom by Journey Gastehuis in die charmante dorp Livingston. Of jy 'n besige sakeman is, 'n ontspanningssoeker of op soek na 'n romantiese vliegvlug, ons gastehuis is jou perfekte toevluchtsoord. Sedert 2019 is ons toegewend om jou tuis te laat voel ver van die huis. Met 4 knuskamers, ontspanningsarea, braaifasiliteite en 'n spa-salon. Kom ervaar gerief, rustigheid en onvergeetlike oomblik by Journey Gastehuis. Bespreek vandag vir jou reis, spanne en rustigheid. Besoek ons by www.journeygatehouse.co.za. Journey Gatehouse, jou tuis op die
This is Afrikaap Radio, playing the music 24/7 on your dial. A wise man once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is Walk to Wellness with Alton David, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
All right, good evening and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon. Sawabona, assalamu alaikum, wherever you are in the world. My name is Alton. I'm the host of Walk to Wellness, brought to you by All My Sports SA. I'm joined in studio live in Cape Town with Natasha Wahid, who is the pro bono manager for ENS. And we have a legal conversation once a month on a range of different topics. I got a voice note. Let's see if we can play this.
Good evening, Mr. Alton David. How's it? Long time never heard. All good.
Keeps cutting out. Okay, that was Suleiman saying, sending his love to Suleiman David from Elsie's River, telling us it's Guy Fawkes happening in Elsie's River, crackers and all kinds of stuff happening.
Oh, wow.
Which is illegal, by the way.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not in the designated spots where it's supposed to be. On Facebook, you are also welcome to drop your comments like Suleiman on plus 20692459543. My Insta, WhatsApp line, my personal Insta or my personal Facebook or YouTube. Sandra on Facebook says, with regards to unpacking the Constitution, it's a good idea. People need to be more informed of their rights. She also likes the song played by Christopher Cross, which most of you will know the song, but didn't know that it was by Christopher Cross. So yeah, Christopher Cross plays a good music. You must Google him. You'll be amazed at some of the music he plays. So we're chatting around the concept of law and how it pertains to life and the mental element. So Natasha, just let's take a half step for those who are just tuning in. Tell us a little bit about the concept of abuse and the different elements of abuse. Purely because I think there are many people who take abuse for granted, number one. Number two, I think abuse is one of the most common crutches people use. Or, like I said last week, 2 weeks ago, that people use the term narcissist as whenever somebody harms you, the first thing they say is no, narcissist. She's a narcissist. And in the same way, I think abuse is often the most used word as a crutch for people to get anxiety. Do you agree with this? Ask no. Yo,
I
got to stop.
no, but I can't agree, nor can I disagree. And I'm mindful that I once again sound like a lawyer. Because yes, because there are those instances, but you're looking at it generally. So I can concede to a point that it is bandied about quite a bit.
Yep.
But as into the most or whatever, I can't go there. It's a common term or a common way of saying I've been abused. But we both of us, I'm sure, agree that those instances, especially if you think you've been abused, you need to pursue that in terms of ensuring that you no longer feel that way or you stop the abuse or so forth. But I'm beating around the bush with this answer and painfully aware of that. But I think that I can concede to it being used quite often. So I think that's how far I'll go to that answer. But abuse. So we touched on it very high level earlier. So essentially someone that intentionally inflicts an act against your person, be it physical or emotional or economic or verbal, and that affects and infringes your dignity. That is in essence what abuse is. And there are various examples of that. And the law takes cognizance of that, so it takes it into account. And there are ways that you can then try and use the legal system to protect yourself against that abuse. But I always advocate, as I said previously, that it shouldn't be done in isolation from psychological, trained professional assistance, so that your psyche and your emotional side is also healed at the same time as you seeking legal assistance or legal resource.
Because that is often the challenge is that we use it as a scapegoat to get away from everything else.
You become really bogged down in getting that protection order. And rightfully so, for example, you need to make sure you get your safety is paramount, right?
So what's up? Carry on, sorry.
Oh, what you say? But at the same time, just know that I read somewhere that if you need to sit with that feeling and you need to deal with it and you need to acknowledge it and you need to process it so that you can heal. Because if you don't heal, you'll never feel like really whole. So that's why, in essence, I'm not a psychologist, but I believe that you need holistic assistance.
You touched on something that we spoke about a few weeks ago. The concept of a protection order.
Okay, yeah.
Let's just revisit that for 2 minutes.
Okay.
The concept, the principle, and the process.
Okay, so the concept is that it's a court order and it's essentially there to protect you. So yes, it's a piece of paper, but like I said previously, it's a piece of paper with a bit of a bite because a warrant of arrest is attached to every protection order. So how you get it is you would apply at the court for an incident, for example, of domestic violence, which can be verbal, emotional, physical, economic, and so forth, or harassment as well. If people are stalking or whatever, or in the harassment act, you would then go to appear before a magistrate, state your case. The magistrate will then determine if an interim protection order is granted, and it's interim because we have a system in law whereby each party needs to be heard. So they would then, the police officer would then take that protection order and serve it on the defendant, who is the counterparty in this case, and say, these are the terms of the protection order, you can't violate it. X, Y, and Z. Sometimes they might say you need to hand in your weapon or whatever the tenets are. You can't come to the person's work or whatever that is, right? And then there'll be a return date. And that return date is where both sides appear and need evidence and bring witnesses. And that's where the magistrate will decide whether the interim protection order is made final. And that protection order is valid throughout the country. And, for example, if the person contravenes that protection order, they will be arrested. You need to then call SAPS, and SAPS needs to arrest them.
But this only pertains to the Republic of South Africa.
Yeah. It's valid throughout
the vast expanse.
So yeah, the borders.
The porous.
Yeah. He's throwing these jabs because he knows I'm gonna react, and I'm like,
we're not gonna get to that.
No.
I'm just adding a few adjectives.
Very, very profound adjectives. Anyway.
Question is, what are the reasons for a warrant of arrest? So it's a violation
of a order.
Of a court order. Plain and simple.
Yes.
Whether it is a court order in terms of if you get a traffic fine and you've not paid it by the due date, you'll get a warrant of arrest to appear in court to pay it.
Yeah. So it's a way to get you and also to arrest you if you contravene something. So in some instances, yes, you contravened it, but in essence, it's getting you to do what you need to do with that fine or appear in court, right? If in the protection order, it's because you've really gone against this order that has been given by the court, and now you're in trouble.
Because it was there as a protection order from someone who deemed you to be
A threat.
a threat.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
And you went against the tenets of the protection order. And I kid you not, some protection orders are so specific, particularly if you still share dwelling. For example, you can only go into the kitchen between so and so, and because remember, like it's sometimes obviously it's the best to split people, but in certain circumstances, it's not something that one can do. There are safe houses and there are like various organizations for battered women, blah, blah, blah. But say in an instance where you can't, right?
That's next level.
It gets intense.
That's next level.
Or you aren't allowed to come to my room, obviously. And maybe, for example, when I'm in the bathroom, like whatever, like it can get very intense. And it's obviously context. Yeah, it's wild.
Wow. Wow. That just
If you can, you'd want to move out. Just saying.
that's just taking me to an whole new level in my head.
Imagine the level, like speaking about mental health, can you imagine the levels of anxiety? And oftentimes, like what you also need to know that abuse affects different stratas. It's apparent throughout. So it's not
lower, correct. It's not a lower income person that only is a victim of abuse. Let's
put it out there.
Let's dispel that straight away.
Some really affluent people, some people that live in abject poverty. It's across the board.
I think the significant difference is that if you have access to funding, let's call it that. That's all. Let's take away everything else. If you have access to funding, you potentially, many people will say, you have a better chance of escaping the victim perpetrator situation because you have access to get somewhere else and do things. To your point earlier, as if I have a protection order, I can't go anywhere. I don't have a place to go because I live in squalor, so there's no place for me to go. I'm stuck in this 2x2, 3x3, whatever the case may be. So it's my way of protecting my dignity and my rights in that space. Where someone who has access to funding can go stay somewhere else, go stay by a friend, stay by a family.
And then I think it's important here that sometimes, even if you do have that access, because of like trauma and trauma bonding, and I don't want to bandy around these terms, and mental health generally, you might not move or you might not seek that protection order. And that might not be an economic thing, but it's been some sort of other mental issue. So it's very complex. But I take your point that in theory, it's easier to leave if you are more well-heeled, if that makes sense.
If you have access to great opportunities to provide funding, to cater for.
Or even if you just have that knowledge. If you take it to basics, right? Like if you know that this is what I can do. And we would think that everybody knows, right? But everybody doesn't know.
That's one of the reasons for the
show. Yeah.
That's exactly the reason for the show. Is to educate people on what can and can't be done.
Yes.
What are the do's and don'ts around legal space. And how we can shape people's minds differently to understand the ramifications of A, misdemeanor, B, bad planning, C, poor behavior.
And then I think also that ties into communities, right? And to taboos and to stigmas. It's not, for example, a family issue and you need to solve it if there's abuse in a home. People have the right to speak out about it. An abuser, for example, is somebody's son or daughter or somebody's family member. If you know about it, don't keep quiet.
But it's not my business to be telling.
And that's where we need to change stuff.
Why? Because it's not my. I don't live with him. I don't care.
But like I know that's the attitude. You should care.
Why?
Because I suppose it's a way of thinking.
Many people don't have
the philosophy. Tomorrow it can be you if you're going to look at it inwardly and look at it as a me discourse or me way of looking at life, and you would want something.
You would want.
Yeah, and you should be and this is all philosophical, we need to break that stigma. So it's not a taboo. You need to speak out about it. Just as bullying, when we talked about it a few months ago, not to keep it inward. If you undergoing or enduring harassment or domestic violence or abuse, etc., speak up about it. Because statistics in terms of the ultimate being femicide or being your male partner or ever being killed is real.
Because otherwise, it's going to happen to you.
Oh gosh, I wait. Yeah.
This is going to happen to you. If you don't come out, this is what will happen.
I got to hear myself play right. I'm so scared because I fall off my chair. And I'm running, I'll get downstairs. Clowns to let me focus to right here. I am stuck in the middle with you. Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you. And I'm wondering what it is I should do. It's so hard to keep the smile from my face. Cause I'm towing, I'm all over the place. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. And you're starting out with me, and you're probably telling something bad. And you're thinking I'm a problem, tell me I'm a crazy. Terrorists will do it all. But I can see it in the sense at all. Is it cool to go escape from the floor? And I'll think that I can take anymore. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle of you. I'm so scared because I fall off my chair. And I'm wondering how I get downstairs. Girls to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you. Stuck in the middle with you. You and me, stuck in the middle with you.
Hey, stop it and listen to AKR.
The Western Cape Blood Services needs blood donors, and we need your help. If you are between the ages of 16 and 75, weigh 50 kilograms or more, for a healthy armored nation and lead a safe sexual lifestyle, we encourage you to download the WCBS app and donate blood. Download the WCBS app on Android and iOS. It will help you find the closest blood donation clinic, sets reminders for donating, and also gives you access to your digital donor card. Download, donate, do good.
Working Mama magazine is about supporting moms who juggle work, business, and raising kids. Our goal is to empower these moms, whether they have a job or run their own business. We want to create a community where moms can find inspiration, practical advice, and support to succeed at work, business, and home. We celebrate the shape of working moms, encourage connections, and believe in a culture that values many roles women play in today's busy world.
This is Afrikaap Radio, playing the music 24/7 on your dial. A wise man once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is Walk to Wellness with Alton David, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
Good evening and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, assalamu alaikum. If you just tuned in, my name is Alton. I'm the host of Walk to Wellness, brought to you by My Sports SA. I'm joined in studio by Natasha Wahid, the pro bono manager of ENS, can I say legal company? Legal firm.
Law firm.
Law firm. My English call losing me today.
You've been delivered for this.
If you just tuned in, you would have heard I'm stuck in the middle here with Natasha by the wheelers, steelers. I thought that, that's how I've gotten going because you said with, what is the thing? The restraining order, huh? Protection order, where they were stuck in the middle of the kitchen.
Yeah. Kitchen and the bedrooms.
So got me to that song, yeah?
The synapses.
My brain, as you know, does its gymnastics as we go along. So we're having conversation around mental wellness, mental toughness, and how the legal system is able to support us in one way or another. You're welcome to jump onto in studio WhatsApp line on +27069245943, my personal Facebook, YouTube, or Insta, and drop us a comment, ask us a question. We will give you the best answer that we can with the limited information that you provide us. Obviously, the caveat is that you can't use this in a legal matter. Yeah. It can give you some idea of the direction to go, and we will unpack it to the best of our ability. I'll play devil's advocate as usual.
Yes.
And we'll get to some sort of solution. So we've spoken about different elements of abuse. We've spoken about mental health in a general. We've spoken about warrants of arrest. We've spoken about protection. What other elements are there from a legal perspective that would serve my right as an individual enshrined in the South African Constitution?
First point, Act 108, yeah. So then,
in chapter,
I'm not like pompous like that. But I think firstly, like you said, we're going to unpack it and know what your rights are, right? Then knowing there are various portals available to if your rights have been infringed on. So for example, equality. So your equality, if it was race, gender, blah, 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 listed grounds, language, culture, or an unlisted ground. You can you can go to a magistrate's court, and also High Court can be an equality court, and you can bring an equality matter. So that's how you can ensure that your rights are protected for that particular portal. Then, yeah.
Let's unpack that for a second, because it's kind of helicopter.
Yes.
Right? So from that perspective, if someone says something bad about me, about my character, I can take them to court. In essence.
Yeah, well, your character, you need to define what they said. So if it was on, for example, if they're just defaming you, you can do a defamation matter. Right. So the defamation matter would have to be, you deem it to be untrue, and it had to have been done in a public setting, even if it's a WhatsApp group or whatever, or disseminated or on social media and so forth. Okay? And then that's it. If they're going to say something based on you are X or call you a horrible name, that's discriminatory. Or say that.
But isn't that the same thing? Because if as an example, if someone says Natasha Wahid is X, Y, and Z and has done A, B, and C, right? Negative stuff, all negative stuff. Nothing's ever going to be positive about you. It's
But anyway.
the narcissist part, the narcissist, and I'm like,
now he's baiting rage bait, guys.
So the narcissist is now going again, giving you all these bad names in a public space.
Yeah, but that's defamation. But if somebody was, for equality, if somebody was saying, I hate, like, you are a...
Give me an example.
Saying the K word, for example.
Right?
Or saying...
if someone says...
Boom, if I walk into a room and I'm Muslim and they go, boom, with, like, suicide bomber jokes, for example.
Okay, right.
That is discriminatory based on religion. Right.
Okay. That explains it.
And go to the equality court for that, right?
So you can go to court for that?
Yes, it's infringing your dignity based on your religion.
So people are judging you in essence, and making a statement based on certain facts that they perceive to be correct.
Yes, just because I am X, I do that. Or just because my skin tone is Y or black or brown or whatever. This insert derogatory term, like the K word or the H word or whatever.
How many people actually get to go to the equality
court? It's underutilized, guys, and it's a bugbear of mine.
But there are no space in the court, Stasha.
But there's a specialized court, and there are forms. You know what? When we talk about the Constitution, let's do a segment dedicated to the Equality Court because it ties in with a lot of dignity stuff.
Okay. Take your word for it.
No,
because nobody.
It's underutilized.
Nobody I know. Ever gone down this road.
It is underutilized.
I know about the defamation.
Yeah, because then it's usually for defamation, you'd want a public apology and you'd want to sue for damages, right? But that would be like Elton was dancing very drunk in the road on Saturday and was a nuisance and a disturbance and oh my gosh, my toddler saw it and oh wow, and say you were not doing that, or even if you were sipping and quite sober but tipsy or not even, and it was said in the neighborhood WhatsApp chat, defamation. You must prove that it was false and was said in the public sphere. And it defamed your character.
Okay. I'm going to plead the fifth.
Okay, cool.
Because we can go down a whole long
rabbit hole. Yeah.
There's a question that's come in. Please can you explain the term cease and desist?
Okay, well, cease is to stop doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Yeah. So that's essentially.
And to desist means stop it.
Stop. It's kind of like
it's a legal term to say stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
In essence.
Yes.
Right. You and I on the same page on that. Okay. So we spoke about the equality perspective. What's the next part that from a legal perspective I have a comfort in inverted commas that the law will protect me. Other than abuse, other than criminal matter.
So there's for example, if somebody is withholding, you need funds, right? For example, you are a homemaker and they can make an order in terms of the Domestic Violence Act for economic abuse and you get money that way.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also apply for spousal maintenance or you can apply for child maintenance for the children. You can access the family advocate to deal with all things children in terms of a parenting plan. You can go to SASSA, the South African Social Security Agency, for the various grants available, old age, child support, etc., etc.
Which is an absolute nightmare to do.
Yes, but it's there.
It's there.
In terms of accessing that. Then there's Home Affairs, your right to citizenship, if whatever, or right to register birth, not be stateless, etc., etc. You can get that. That's protecting another right. Divorce, you can go and get a free divorce technically in terms of approaching a magistrate's court, going through the application process. If it's more complex, it's always advisable to get an attorney, but there's that as well in terms of ending a particular thing that might be linked to abuse, if that's the situation.
And we've unpacked the different types of divorces and how to get divorced in 1, 2, 3 shows ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I know we chatted about it, but I didn't know the number. So that way that you kind of like protect your rights. And obviously SAPS is supposed to do their job, etc. There's the healthcare, and they're supposed I wish you guys, but maybe you can see him. But anyway, so there's these. And then Chapter 9 organizations, right? Which is in the Constitution in Chapter 9. And for example, the South African Human Rights Commission. There's the Commission for Gender Equality. There's a cultural language, etc., long name. There's the public protector that we all know about. So, for example, say a state entity has, or government department has done X, Y, and Z, and you are aggrieved, or allegedly done X, Y, and Z, and you're aggrieved, you can go to them, they'll investigate, they'll do a report, etc. And yeah, so there are various ways of accessing it. So the right to access that is there. Like you alluded to, whether it works optimally is debatable. But that's also how you protect your rights.
It's an organ of institution, not an organ of functionality.
According to your opinion.
According to my opinion, yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't function optimally, but it's an organ of...
It's there. That's the portal is there. So whether you agree with the sentiment or not, it's there. And I think that knowing that it's there and what it's supposed to do will afford you the knowledge, and I'm hoping the gumption to question it if you don't get optimal service. Because for better or for worse, a bureaucracy, which is what these things or entities work in, there's always someone above that you can complain to. There's always, for example, a watchdog or whatever. And I think sometimes we feel so inept because we don't know what our rights are. And then we keep quiet, right? And you could then possibly be subjected to secondary victimization or not getting the service that you're supposed to. So that's it. You have a right to be treated with dignity at all times. Whether in reality that happens is another story. But nothing stops you from complaining. My daughter says I'm a Karen, but you guys know what it is. No shade on Karens. It's that term for like a lady that complains and is quite feisty and will call people out. And the male version is a kin, according to me. But I do call out bad service. I think it's important. In a polite, respectful way, I will write a letter of complaint.
Really?
Yes, I am a person. And it's not because I'm being ridiculous. I wanted to say the Afrikaans word. But I'm not being word. It's just because I think we need to hold people accountable, because you are put in a position, and especially if you find yourselves in these portals, you are there and you must serve others. And if you're not doing that, or you are disgruntled, or you are overwhelmed, you need to then access the portals that are there to help you. But it can't filter down to essentially your clients. So, or the people who are inherently vulnerable or in a vulnerable state when they approach you. So don't make it worse. And that's starts at take.
I am going to talk.
Okay.
I'm not going to
comment.
No. Because you and I are going to get into an interesting debate, which I'd rather not. I'm going to play an old song.
Okay, I want to know if I know this, because I've known everyone tonight.
Your father would have played the song. This is our oldest song.
Okay. Oh, I know this song. He loves the song.
Wait to see your father.
Who drives the ground and play so loud, baby, it's the guitar man. Who's gonna steal the show? No, baby, it's the guitar man. You can make it loud, you can make it right. He will bring you down, you can get you high. Something keeps him going, miles and miles a day, to find a way. I have to reach you right, it's the guitar man. Who's on the radio, you don't listen to the guitar man. He comes to town to see his face. And you think you might like to take his place. Something keeps you going, miles and miles away, searching for the songs to play. Then you listen to the music and you like to sing along. You want to get the meaning out of each and every song. When you find yourself a message and some words on your own, and take them home. You can make your love, you can get you high. He will bring it down, he'll make you cry. Something keeps him moving, no one seems to know what it is to go. Then the lights begin to flicker and the sun is getting dim. The voice begins to falter and the clouds begin to thin. But he never seems to notice he's just got to find another place to play.
This is Afrikaap Radio, playing the music 24/7 on your dial.
The Western Cape Blood Services needs blood donors and we need your help. If you are between the ages of 16 and 75, weigh 50 kilograms or more, you are healthy on the day of donation and lead a safe sexual lifestyle, we encourage you to download the WCBS app and donate blood. Download the WCBS app on Android and iOS. It will help you find the closest blood donation clinic, set reminders for donating, and also gives you access to your digital donor card. Download, donate, do good.
Are you overwhelmed by debt, struggling with arrears, or battling to make overdue payments? At Anton & Partners, we are here to help you take control. For over 30 years, our all-female team has been providing expert debt solutions, specializing in navigating debt mediation and financial recovery. We understand the stress, so we work tirelessly to find tailored solutions suited to your unique situation. We're the only company in the country willing to challenge reckless lenders and expose fraud.
Our renowned 3-year investigation process under the National Credit Act helps uncover misconduct with the goal of having your debt written off and your credit record cleared. Once your debt is resolved, we work with the credit bureaus to remove defaults and blacklistings, helping you rebuild your financial reputation. Choose Anton and Partners, your compassionate, professional partner in becoming debt-free. Contact us today and take the first step toward financial freedom. You can find us at 8 Rivik Street, Cape Town City Center. Call us on 021 202 9600 or email reception@anton.co.za. Anton and Partners, empowering you to regain control.
With tailored shuttle solutions, you receive efficient and reliable transport without the hassle of booking fees and downtime via an app. Their service is affordable and even better yet, woman-owned and run. They are also the preferred transport partner for Afrikaap Radio. Contact Shani Lucas either by telephone or WhatsApp on 071 314 9133. Tailored shuttle solutions for tailor-made transport services.
Op zoek naar rust en ontsnapping aan die prachtige tuinritte. Welkom by Journey Gastery in die charmante dorp Riversdale. Of jy 'n besige sakeman is, al 'n ontspanningssoeker, of op soek na romantiese terugvoer, ons gastery is jou perfekte toevlugsoord. Sedert 2019 is ons toegewys om jou tuis te laat voel, weg van die huis. Met 4 kluskamers, 'n spanningsarea, braai fasiliteite en 'n spa-salon. Kom ervaar geniet, rustigheid en onvergeetlike oomblikke by Journey Gastehuis. Bespreek vandag nog en begin jou reis na ontspanning en rustigheid. Besoek ons by www.journeyguesthouse.co.za. Journey Guesthouse, jou tuiste op die tuinritte.
This is Afrikaap Radio, playing the music 24/7 on your dial. Be one man, one soul. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. This is Walk to Wellness with Alton David, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
All right, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Alton. I'm the host of Walk to Wellness, brought to you by All My Sports SA, joined in the studio, our Cape Town studio, with Natasha Wafi, the pro bono manager of ENS legal firm. And we having conversation around how the legal system supports you in a range of different ways. Tash, we sadly.
Yeah, it's all the time. It's that time again. Yeah.
But I'm glad that you know that song that played before this. No?
Yes, I did. I've heard it. Yeah, my dad did.
The guitar man by Red.
Yes.
I've got one pearl at the treasure, but get this.
Cool.
So in closing, let's kind of round up everything. So from a mental perspective, I have different challenges. Mental, classed in different ways, whether it's a psychological challenge, depression, anxiety, all of those kinds of things. There's legal ways made to protect me in terms of abuse and to be abused and to abuse. Am I right?
Yeah, yes. Essentially, to protect you so you're not discriminated against. If your rights are violated, there's ways of doing that. But if you are doing something and you use that as a defense, there's ways that it can be used to assist you. Or not, I don't want to use the assisting part, but it will be your defense, and if you found guilty, you'll be sent somewhere. And then, as your point is, sometimes it's used as an excuse for certain behavior.
100%.
Yeah.
And then in terms of legally, there are multiple avenues and multiple institutions, as you alluded before we played the song, on how we, as ordinary South Africans, are protected as a result of these components of.
I missed that one, actually. Just
Which
if I
one?
can add it, the CCMA.
Oh,
I know, but we needed to give a labor element to it. And just to be mindful, I don't know the time periods of power, but there are strict time periods to be able to take certain things, 30 days, and then etc. So just know that
and make sure that if you are playing the labor route, that you have all your ducks in a row.
and have your evidence.
100%. Not just verbal evidence, have written or
Be very well prepared, because you're going to have to present it, and the other side's going to be presenting it. And there is potentially power imbalances because it's usually employer versus employee, and then it will be assessed.
Okay, so in conclusion, then I can say that there are mechanisms within South African boundaries to protect me as Alfred Davids from various elements that could cause me harm.
Yes.
In a broad
spectrum. Or to protect you from harm.
Protect me from harm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you can access that portal if you feel you've been harmed, and they can assist you. Or conversely, it can be you can get it so that you're not harmed. So it's both ways. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Yeah.
So give me an example of how you're trying to
articulate it. So, for example, if I've been harmed in terms of my dignity and discriminated against, I could right? If I feel that I may be harmed, but I want to protect my rights, and I have a child, for example, I can go to the family.
Okay.
So it's just like there's different, depending on your circumstance, or your particular matter. But essentially, there are ways to ensure that your rights can be protected.
How would I know where to go? That's the tricky question.
That's a tricky question, and we all don't know everything, right? But what I think would be a good first port of call is if you do have access to data, or you're able to get to a Wi-Fi zone and you have a smartphone, for example, is to go to the Department of Justice or the DOJ and CD website. It lists all their services, right? And then see the different things that work there. Or you can go to organizations such as ourselves and say, this is my issue. Can you assist me, or can you point me in the right direction? Similarly, there's other organizations like Legal Aid SA, for example. There's other NGOs, like non-governmental organizations, or there are advice officers that people are trained to provide advice. So there's that. You can also, I like saying that you should also ask like your ward counselor if you know if they're able to assist you in terms of like say for example in your neighborhood you have an issue. Right? They're there to protect and ensure that your neighborhood is working well. But whether they're accessible is another story. But you need to ensure that people do what they're supposed to. But there's that as well, which I will throw in there. So but essentially look at the DOJ, look at organizations such as ourselves as well as other ones. Go to the court, for example, and say, can you direct me to wherever? Go to the police station. Say maybe they'll be able to assist you if it's a crime or you are a survivor of X, Y, and Z. We didn't mention another one actually. If you feel that if someone owes you money, and it's below 20,000, you can access the small claims court as well. And that's a speedier way of getting justice because no legal representation is allowed. And the magistrate's court is a small claims court as well. So there are various ways, but to know broadly what services are available And if you don't know, to know which organizations can assist you is incredibly important. And that's why I think we're doing shows like this, so that you can spread that knowledge. Therefore, we also share it so we pay it forward. So in a nutshell, the DOJ and CG, Department of Justice Constitutional Development website. In this province, I know the Western Cape government also has a website. It gives a lot of information. And then look at your government departments that are around you, your services, for example, police, for example, court, etc., and how you can navigate it there. People are quite well versed in knowing these services. So
for what works for them.
Yeah.
Natasha, thank you again.
Pleasure.
For coming and spending another session with us. We look forward to
the next one.
It won't be the constitutional conversation because it's the end of the year.
Oh, yeah. What are we talking about?
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
But
we watch the stress.
What is the Afrikaans word for calendar?
It's still
Almanac.
Okay, I would never have gotten that.
No way.
Yeah.
For Afrikaans first language? My fatherland. Die almanak, die datum wat is gesproke is vir die volgende uitsaai. Nee. Ja, die volgende uitsaai van hierdie program is die 10de Desember. As jy beskikbaar?
Yeah, it's all beskikbaar. Yes. Yeah, it's fine. We're good to go.
Because the third I'm
jet setting. The third I'm not here either. I'm in Joburg.
Oh,
Okay, so the 10th.
The 10th of December is our next show with Natasha. And we will, between now and then, debate what our topic will be.
Yeah. Yes. It'll be a cool one.
Round up the year of various.
As long as we can play a Christmas Carol too.
Christmas Carol.
I think it's important.
It's the 10th of December. Yes, we play Christmas Carol.
Okay, cool.
So we are going to close with one of an old classic. Very old. It's one of my favorite bands. My name is Alton Davids. Thank you for tuning in. It's Walk to Wellness, brought to you by All My Sports SA. And Ian is tonight with Natasha Wahid saying goodbye. We'll be back. I'll be back next week for another episode of Walk to Wellness. Ciao for now.
Don't make it bad. Hate you. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart, and we can start to make it better. Hey, Jude, don't be afraid. You were made to go out and get her. The minute you let her into your skin, and you begin to make it better. And anytime you feel the pain, I hate you refrain. Don't carry the world held on your shoulder. Well, you know that it's a fool who makes it come. I'm making sure our legs grow colder. La, 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 la. Hey, Jude, don't let me go. That's my own head. Now go and get her. Remember, take you into your heart. When you can start to make it better. So let it out and let it in. Hate you, because you bring sorrow to don't you know it's just you? Hate you, don't make it bad. Take the sad song and make it better. Remember to level your skin when you begin to make it better, better, better,
There's a song I know. He goes to a concert, he's definitely like,
This is Afrikaap Radio, playing the music 24/7 in your dial. Mama's man once said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. This in it, walk to wellness. Alton David, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
thanks everybody. Ciao.